I'm Will Wheaton, and you're listening to the GamerCast Network video game show.
Hey! Alright. It's a video game show, it's a video game show. It's not a game show about videos, it's a video game show.
Welcome to the Video Game Show for Sunday, September 2nd, 2007. I'm Chad. This is episode number 53. This week, we're going to wrap up PAX 2007, cover the Call of Duty 4 beta, and read some listener mail. To introduce the crew this week, when I say your name, tell me if you would save or kill the little sisters in BioShock. And joining us this evening is Tom.
I just want to say that in BioShock, there's two possible ways that you can play this game, and one is kind of using finesse and trying to combine different powers in creative ways, and the other one is running gun and kill everything, and I will let you guys decide which path I've been going down.
Also joining us this evening is Keith.
I would save her through her death. I would save her by ending her life.
Next up on the list is Bob.
Well, I'm not the one who filled her with experience points. So, what do you think I'm going to do with her? It's the cycle of life, my friend.
Ivan.
I was killing them and having lots of fun doing it until I realized there was an achievement for saving all of them.
And also joining us tonight from UncleGamer Radio, Robbie.
Hey, what's going on? Now, don't kill me or nothing here, but I haven't played BioShock yet. So, you know what, though? I'm going to guess, because I'm usually pretty selfish when I'm playing games, that I'm probably going to kill the sister. I don't know what benefits there are in keeping her alive.
You actually get more in the long run if you save them.
But for the short term, though, it's better if you don't. See, when I'm playing video games, I'm not thinking long term. I'm thinking, I'm playing for the next hour. What can I do to make it the most fun in this hour?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
See, I like his play style better than yours, Ivan.
Yeah.
Mr. Let's set goals. Shoot them first, and then hopefully they're still alive to ask them a question later. If not,
That's right.
keep moving amongst the dead. One of them has to still be alive.
Well, I, like Ivan, am saving the little sisters for the achievements. And actually, I saved all the little sisters already, so yay. Now, next playthrough, I'm going to kill them all.
So,
Wow, I like your style. You gave him false hope. It's like, go ahead, run along, and then shoot them in the back of the head as they run away.
Robbie, did you get a picture with the Big Daddy at PAX?
I did. You can go to
Nice.
UncleGamer.com, and I had a PAX posting, and it has a link to the entire gallery of all the pictures.
I like that. That's a good plug, UncleGamer.com. Speaking of plugs, if you guys haven't noticed that Uncle Gamer and the Video Game Show were all part of GamerCast Network, and GamerCastNetwork.com has a brand new homepage with all kinds of crazy content. It's a cornucopia of things going on in the GamerCast Network. Check that out.
Yes, and on the new website, you can get the latest episode of Achievement Junkie, where they review PAX, Sarcastic Gamer with a new song from Doc, and an episode of Pod TV from Podtacular. Again, go check out the virtual cornucopia of stuff at GamerCastNetwork.com.
Cornucopia are centerpieces. Those big centerpieces in Thanksgiving for our less educated listeners.
But don't eat the fruit because it's plastic.
And don't eat the cornucopia because it's usually wicker or
And
ceramic.
wicker doesn't taste good.
And ceramic cuts your mouth, makes your
Yeah.
gums bleed, and then you have horrible dental pills.
You all know how the Lich King feels about that.
Yep.
Next topic.
Okay, so since we talked about PAX there for a couple seconds, let's do a little wrap-up here of PAX, since both Robbie and Tom were at PAX. So, guys, wrap it up for us.
Free stuff. You know, that was one of my big things. Free stuff. My wife goes by the name Anjo Banjo. We were there together, and by the time we were done with the weekend, we had 6 bags full of just stuff. Game trials, t-shirts, and more t-shirts, and Laura Croft dog tag, the
Did you
History
get the
Channel.
PlayStation underwear?
I did not get the underwear, no.
Oh,
I
okay.
did not.
Sony was giving away underwear.
So, I mean, how are you supposed to proudly show that off? I don't think the wife would be too impressed.
I don't think there's pride. At that point, pride has long since went out the window.
Who at the show gave away the best stuff?
Dell, they were handing out the Alienware backpacks along with the t-shirt.
NVIDIA had a cool thing going on where if you went to the NVIDIA booth, you would get a button with a number on it. And someone else in the conference also had a button with your number on it. And if you could find them,
You had to fight to the death and the winner got an apple?
you would fight to the death, but then you would get to spin a big wheel and then you would win the prize all the way up to like their 8800 GTX cards. So it would be like expensive stuff that you could win.
There's only, 30,000 people there. That shouldn't be too hard to find.
40,000 exactly.
It'd be better if they just put a severed pinky in there and you have to find the person with the missing pinky. All right, maybe it wouldn't be better, but it'd be more entertaining.
How were wait times for games, like with doing demos and that kind of stuff, like for the Hellgate demo?
So Microsoft had a Games for Windows area, and they probably had a dozen kiosks, and it wasn't usually bad. Usually it's just one person deep. So you're kind of just watching over somebody's shoulder until they eventually walk away, or if you stand really close to them, they'll probably walk away quicker. And
Start breathing real heavy.
yeah, over in the MMO area, so ArenaNet was showing off the latest version of Guild Wars, and they actually had a lot of PCs set up, but they made the mistake. See, Microsoft did the smart thing. So they set up their kiosks where you had to stand there and play. So by and large, you wouldn't stand there for that long. Whereas ArenaNet, they had chairs, and people would sit their asses down, and then they wouldn't get up.
You don't give a gamer a chair. That's crazy talk.
What were the highlights there of what you guys saw in terms of games or anything? What impressed you the most?
You know, my favorite part was having a chance to play Rock Band. I've been following closely on it, but to see it with my own two eyes. Funny story, I was with AvidX from 360style.net, and it's his birthday today, ironically. And
Happy birthday!
His forum got hacked in honor of his birthday today, too. So, yeah, I know. So he had an 11 a.m. appointment to have a chance to play on stage. They needed an extra person, and I was like, great, yeah, I'll do it, you know. So we're there. It's about 11 a.m., and there's a young lady there who's working behind there. And she goes, oh, okay, well, G4 just showed up, and we're going to have them play in front of you. And we're like, oh, well, that kind of sucks, but okay, G4 is important, whatever. Come to find out, there's like 16 of them, and they're all taking turns. They ended up not letting us play on the stage, and they had us play on the little side kiosk instead. Fine, you know, still had a chance to play. Godfrey and crew got to play on stage on Friday. Sorry, Godfrey, but they sucked. So, and they were up on stage, and we got pictures. And
sorry, Godfrey, you suck. Sorry, you suck. Yes, we here at the GamerCast Network tear down all of us. It's not just the video game.
That's
show.
Right. That's
part
right.
of the requirement to get in. It's like an interview question. Your friend has fallen and has hurt themselves. Do you A, point and laugh? B, help them up? Any answer but A, you're not getting in.
Next topic.
On Friday night, there was a panel called Community and PR in the Game Industry, and I was really interested in that because here at the GamerCast Network, we have a big community, so I thought, well, let's go see what we can learn. And they had this one rep from Ubisoft there who had gotten off on the wrong footing with me because when asked how Ubisoft was involved in community, she pointed to their involvement with the Fragdolls. Now, I'm not here to bash the Fragdolls. They're like the band The Monkees or the band NSYNC. They're a group that's put together by Ubisoft.
I'm not here to bash him, but I'm going to insult him as heartily
as I can. They're put together by Ubi. They're not a real clan of people. They're not, or I shouldn't say they're real human beings, but they're not a clan.
They're not real people. Damn, Tom, what do you do when you actually want to bash somebody?
Well, I'm about to bash her, okay? So her name was Carol Carnes, and if anyone's at Ubisoft who hears this show, forward this on to her, because, honey, let me tell you a little something, okay? So after hours, we talk one-on-one with Carol. So, like, Altered Weapon was there, and Rothbart was there, and Obey was there from our forums. I want to ask her, I want to say, you know, what are things that you shouldn't do with the community, or what are the ways that you could hurt your community? I want to know, if I call my community, you know, stupid for playing console games, is that going to hurt the community? What I expected, something like, oh, you know, we at Ubisoft don't use our community for, you know, just for marketing. You know, it's a symbiotic relationship. That's not the kind of answer I got. Instead was, she said, oh, you don't become friends with your community. And at 5 o'clock, you have to turn it off. You're done. At that exact moment, Tony Hines and Chris Palladino were walking by, and they grabbed all of the GCM people, and we went out to dinner. And I thought, how ironic. You know, here's a company, Microsoft, that understands the symbiotic relationship they have with guys like us who are fans of their products, and we spend a lot of time talking about it, and Microsoft gets something out of it because we're talking about their products. And I was just listening to Podtacular today, a website called Too Old to Game. The webmaster of that site was on Podtacular, and he was talking about how Microsoft had helped them do their own convention and was giving them a lot of swag and helped them raise money for a children's hospital. This is an example of a company that understands that you're friends. There's a symbiotic relationship, and one of the reasons that this woman from Ubisoft said you don't become friends is because you can't be involved in drama. And I'm like, in friendship, there's going to be drama, and you're going to be a part of that, and you're going to be better for having been part of that. It just floored me that she would say that the Fragdolls are community, and that's how Ubisoft's involved in community. And I feel bad for webmasters who are running websites around Ubisoft games because I feel like now they're just patsies. They don't really have a genuine relationship with Ubisoft, and I feel bad for these webmasters now.
Tom, you know what? Ubisoft is a French company.
Yeah,
They're French. Upset.
Next topic.
So we were doing this photo thing. It was Phil with Booth Babes. And there was some Fragdolls there. And so, of course, we were going to get a picture with Phil and the Fragdolls. Now, I love Booth Babes. And there's a long tradition of using sexy women to promote products. And I'm all for that. But what exactly are they promoting? I mean, are they promoting Ubisoft directly? That's not how they really position them. So they're like this facade. They're this community facade.
How would you position your Fragdoll?
But the thing is, the community is supposed to be genuine. And what I felt bad for these girls is because they're being used by Ubisoft in a really disingenuous way.
And I would have to agree on that 100%. I think anytime you apply for a community position and you need to include pictures of yourself, you've immediately taken away your honest to good heart and passion for it.
Unlike Tom, I don't care if I offend him or not. But does anyone actually take these Fragdolls seriously in any way, shape, or form?
Well, apparently the community manager at Ubisoft does.
Saw one guy walking around, and he had lovingly had this poster signed by all the Fragdolls he could find.
But I mean, people want Pamela Anderson's autograph as well.
Exactly.
I mean, they're just eye candy, and they're nothing more. And if people think otherwise, then they're only fooling themselves. A lot of gamers are large. A large majority of gamers are.
They are large. Thank you.
You know what I mean. There's no huge surprise there that's what they're there for. They're there to look pretty and draw attention to them.
Okay, so can I further this question here? We talk about that and, with Ubisoft and how they're presenting the Fragdolls. Now, with Microsoft promoting them as well, with Fragdoll Friday and everything else, aren't they, in essence, doing the same thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, it's a proven fact that women sell things. If you watch commercials during any sporting event, you're going to see car commercials, you're going to see beer commercials, and usually there's going to be lots of women on those commercials.
Who it does hurt are clans like the PMS clan. What happens when you have Fragdolls is it builds this expectation that not only do you have to be a gamer, but you have to be a pinup girl also.
I've known PMS members in the past who were unable to take part in PMS activities because they had a child. They still, even within PMS, do have expectations on how they present the girls out in the community. I don't know how it is nowadays, but as of, a year ago, 2 years ago, they still had expectations based upon looks.
I just felt bad for them. They looked like they weren't even out of high school. I'm sure they rather would have been walking around the exhibition floor like the rest of us rather than the way Ubi was treating them.
I actually wonder if they do enjoy gaming or if they are just, wannabe models who tried out for this.
I'm sure they can play video games.
Well, they can, but I wonder if they enjoy it.
Dude, you know what they do? They just put them in conferences, and then, the rest of the time online, it's played by some, 28-year-old dude who just pretends to be, well, I bet you're cute. Enter. That was a good last shot.
Next topic.
Recently, they had some beta keys go out for the new Call of Duty game for the Xbox 360. This is Call of Duty 4. And I got into it, and apparently Robbie here got into it as well. So, Robbie, what are your impressions of Call of Duty 4 so far?
I like it. I think it's the Rainbow Six that should have been with, the level of graphics and the gameplay. I played one night for several hours. It was very good. I liked the aiming, flowed really well. And the gameplay, while at first was a little bit confusing, with some of the objectives and what you're doing. It's a beta, and obviously you don't have these tutorials to go through or anything, and it's my first time playing it.
Well, let me go on with my impressions of Call of Duty. I've been playing just straight up team deathmatches, no real objectives other than kill the other team. It is a fun game, and I like the aspect they did with... See, the thing is, I never played much Battlefield 2 or those style games. In those games, you had the ability to raise your ranks and unlock certain weapons by killing people, getting experience points, quasi-experience points.
Yeah, you start off as a private and then become a sergeant and then a lieutenant, and along the way you could get different guns and different packs and stuff like that.
So they have that whole feature set up in Call of Duty 4. Once you get to a certain level, you can actually create a class. You pick out your weapons, but they also have something called perks, where you can give yourself additional abilities. Like when you're a sniper, you can sway less. You're more steady in terms of aiming. Extreme conditioning, you run faster for longer periods of time. And they had one that was like Last Stand, where when they shoot you and you fall to the ground, you don't die immediately. You take a few seconds so you can whip out your sidearm and shoot the guy who killed you. And that really threw me off at first. I shot a guy, he fell to the ground, I was turning around, and he killed me. I was like, didn't I just kill you? When I shoot someone now and they're on the ground, I verify they're dead by, dumping an extra clip into them. Overall, though, I would say Call of Duty 4 seems like a very solid game.
Robbie and or Chad, have you guys played any of the other Call of Duties?
I didn't play 3, but I did play Call of Duty 2. But I didn't play a whole lot of multiplayer. I played the solo campaign.
Just curious, I know that the theme is different. 1 through 3 had the World War II theme, and this is more modern combat, but I'm wondering how the gameplay matches against like Call of Duty 2.
Yeah, I never played much Call of Duty 2. I only played a little. I only played the demo. I played more Medal of Honor and those kind of games for the PC, and it feels more like Medal of Honor, a little faster. I wouldn't say it's as slow-paced as a Vegas can be. Well, not slow-paced, but you know what I mean. More tactical.
Next topic.
Are you looking forward to the new Medal of Honor coming out?
Airborne? Yeah, I tried the PC demo last week when it came out, and it feels like Medal of Honor. Personally, I prefer the type of style in Call of Duty right now. It seems a little better. But I'm still probably going to get Medal of Honor just because I like the series.
If I can pimp out an argument that we've had at UncleGamer, Paris and I, and Jay seems to be along with Paris here, in that then the Medal of Honor Airborne is going to be a complete flop. Paris has even gone so far to say that it will sell no more than 500,000 combined on the 360 PC and the PlayStation 3. We have a kind of a friendly bet right now. The loser is going to donate $100 to Child's Play by the end of the year, December 31st, whether it hits the 750,000 mark. Am I going to win this bet or am I going to lose this bet?
What's Paris's reasoning?
Because no one likes World War II games anymore, and it's coming out near Halo and Bioshock and Mass Effect and Metroid Prime. And
I know that on the PC, the Medal of Honor has always been popular. I know at first they were very popular on the PlayStation, the first couple. Recently, like there was Medal of Honor European Assault, or what the heck was the recent one before Airborne? I don't know how well that one sold.
I'm not holding out a lot of hope for Airborne having a really compelling multiplayer experience, so everyone who is looking for that, on the PC at least, might not find it. But I am interested in seeing what they're doing with the single player, because the experience they're trying to build for you is that you're jumping into a chaotic environment, and where you land is going to be different each time you play the game, and it's going to be a different experience as you move through the level. If they've done that well, then I would say Paris would be donating $100. Honestly, the problem that EA is going to face with Airborne, I think a lot of titles are going to be facing this fall, only because things like Quake War are finally here, and Crysis is finally here, and everyone's running up against this thing.
at this point, I'm for Medal of Honor because I don't want to spend $100.
Yeah, and speaking as somebody who watches the History Channel all the time, I can't get enough World War II.
Well, good. See, and they're still out there, and I tried telling Paris, and he said, no, once Call of Duty moved on to modern combat, people stopped liking World War II, and I said, what kind of logic is that? There are still a lot of World War II fanatics out there, enough to justify 2 games or 3 games.
Absolutely.
And
Killing Nazis never gets old. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I know, it never gets old. The graphics just get better.
That's right.
Well, it's the roots. The first-person shooter was killing Nazis.
Castlevania. Yeah.
Castlevania?
Yeah.
Wolfenstein.
Wolfenstein.
Castlevania.
Well, that Count Dracula was a Nazi.
Next topic.
People are wondering, Keith, we've never actually talked about your broken Xbox on the show, on the air. Recap your whole Xbox situation.
Okay. So I had the 3 lovely rings of death there. This was before they announced they extended the warranty. So I kind of got pissed, kind of threw my Xbox in the corner, and it was just collecting dust, because I was like, you know what, F that. I'm not paying that much money to get this thing fixed if it's a piece of crap. And, I was yelling at Chris, told him to yell at his boss, because he was the guy that told me it's safe to buy one, that kind of thing. And finally they extended the warranty, so I was like, cool. And then I basically had to wait like a month to get one of the boxes to even mail it back. Finally got the box, and I mailed it back. I got it back about a month and a half, almost 2 months later, and the disc reader on the 360 was broken. It wouldn't read any discs. So then called them back up. They sent me another box, mailed that out. I haven't got it back yet, and they were supposed to be mailing me a loaner, which is now, like a week and a half into the thing, and I'm still waiting on that, but supposedly that should be getting here on Tuesday. But I've just been Xbox-less for 3-4 months now. It kind of sucks, but I've just been playing computer. I know this crap happens and it's very annoying, but they're fixing the issues. It's just not very fast. While am I happy? No, not particularly. But am I raving mad or something? No.
Are they compensating you in any way for your downtime?
I've gotten some Arcade Classics game and a Cameo, and they've given me a couple months of Xbox Live subscription, that kind of.
No kidding.
Yeah.
I've gotten nothing for going through 4 Xbox 360s. Nothing.
Holy cow, you've gone through 4 of them?
I have, yep, and my wife has gone through 2. Meanwhile, we have our Nintendo Wii, the PlayStation 2, the Dreamcast, the Nintendo 64, and all the rest that I've had almost since launch.
I basically called them up and I basically said, this is unacceptable. And the rep, went and talked to a manager type guy, and this isn't something I've been going through Chris for. You know what I mean? I mean, obviously, I've been talking to him about the issue because he wants to know.
Yeah, when you mentioned the loaner stuff to me last week, I actually looked around some of the Xbox forums and some other sites, and I see people talking about getting loaners when their systems go in, but I haven't seen lots of people talking about that.
That must be new because I've never heard anything about a loaner, and they've never...
I don't think that
one.
they offer it. I think you actually have to say something to them. Because I just said, and it wasn't even an issue. I just said, I wrote an email to someone. I said, basically, this is unacceptable. I haven't been able to play my Xbox now for 3-4 months, and this is just completely unacceptable. What's the deal with this? And they said, we'll get you out a loaner while this is in repair. We apologize, that kind of thing. I think it's just like everything else. If you are willing to complain and raise a little bit of a stink, they'll do it. Everyone's been very polite and that kind of thing. And that's the thing that usually will make me mad, is if something's wrong and people are being idiots about it, getting it fixed. I know Rothbard had a horrible time dealing with customer service and that. My whole thing has been the complete opposite. Everyone's been very nice, very helpful. Yes, it sucks and it's dumb, but they've been giving me, they basically reimbursed me for my Xbox Live time that was lost. I do feel very out of the loop in a lot of things, and I've missed a lot of fun group gaming kind of stuff, but, que sera, sera.
Next topic.
Mailbag!
We got a message from Mix. First off, congratulations on your first year. I always wonder at the fact that no matter how long the show has been running, you guys always seem to be talking about PC versus console.
Because Tom won't shut up about
Because I won't let the issue drop.
But not once have you guys discussed handheld gaming other than Puzzle Quest, which I think we have, but we'll go on here. In my opinion, handheld gaming is very underlooked and is actually a source of good gaming. It's also the highest selling platform. There are a lot of very good games on the DS and PSP. I think it's quite unfair to unjustly shun these in favor of PC and console games. So my question is, what is your opinion of handheld gaming? Thanks guys, and many more ham sandwiches to you. I play lots of handheld games.
Yeah, I know I'm always saying that I'm playing handheld games. I know I've said on more than one occasion that the DS or the handheld is actually my favorite platform.
Yeah, I play tons of games as well. I play more than just Puzzle Quest. I actually do play lots of games on my DS, and I have a PSP as well, and I play some games on that. And I know Tom at one point actually played some games on the Game Boy Advance with your Micro. Was that what you had?
Yeah, I had a Game Boy Micro, but I sold it in order to buy Command & Conquer 3.
I have my Game Boy. It's plugged in. I have the charger stuck in the bathroom. That's my my poop time is my Game Boy. Now I've been playing in the Final Fantasy 6.
I was playing Final Fantasy 3 for a while there. Right before that, I finished Rocket Slime.
What about Metroid Prime Hunters? Any of you played that for the DS? It's really frustrating, though, as they take away the ability to save easily.
Yeah, the Castlevania games are all like that. You have to go to a certain place on the map in order to save.
Personally, the handhelds for me are not a sit down and play for hours and hours and hours.
Why do you think game developers are creating games not assuming that?
Because there are a lot of people that enjoy the portability of it and use it as a main gaming console. I know my buddy's girlfriend, Pam. She plays her Game Boy, and that's like her thing.
Yeah, Mary played that Hotel Dusk thing, and she would sit there and play that while I was playing something on the Xbox.
I was going to say, I'm kind of on the opposite end of the spectrum where I don't want to pour a lot of time into a handheld, and I just don't want to carry an extra device around. So yes, I do kind of want to play in that 10 minutes I'm sitting on the can at work, and I do want to play like when I'm riding on the bus at home, but that's what a phone's for. And eventually phones are going to catch up to where, I think Nokia was ahead of their time.
Get off this kick.
No, it's just kind of a waste. I don't want to carry too much stuff around. I already have an MP3 player that I'm carrying around. I have a phone that I'm carrying around. I don't want to carry a third item around. I don't have enough pockets.
Get more pockets.
Get cargo pants.
Cargo pants rule.
Next topic.
As promised from last week, here's some PAX Hellgate London coverage from Tom.
Hey everybody, it's MC Fragdolls, and I'm here. Phil is about to play Hellgate London, and we also have, what's your name? Travis. And what's your affiliation?
I work for Flagship.
So Travis, we're big Diablo 2 fans on the podcast, and since Diablo 2, we've been playing all of the Diablo clones. Basically, if it has randomly generated items, randomly generated maps, we play it. We're a fan. This is kind of like Jesus coming back. Is that the sense you're getting from the community?
I hope so. A lot of the people who are involved in this are really the people who built Diablo and Diablo 2. Dave Brevik, Eric Schaefer, Max Schaefer, Bill Roper. I don't want to forget a bunch of other people, but I think when Flagship started, it was probably 90% ex-Blizzard.
I've been watching other people play the demo, and I noticed that you could scroll down into a first-person mode, but this is not a first-person shooter.
It's not really a first-person shooter. A lot of the weapons really don't require that kind of pinpoint accuracy. We really want you to feel that your character investment and your skill investments are meaningful and change the way you play, so it's not fully a Twitch-based game. By the same token, it's not your traditional MMO-style game where you click and wait. It's very much an active action game, as Diablo was.
Phil, what are you doing? What are your thoughts so far?
I just picked the Blademaster, and we're heading to Holborn Station.
So what is Holborn Station?
Holborn Station is one of the starting, effectively, towns that you'll be visiting in the game. We've used the subway stations throughout London as effectively the towns, and there is randomly generated instance content in between those towns. So the town, if you're playing online, is where you're going to meet and party up with other players. Then you'll head out together for your own personal instance dungeon that is leveled and geared for your party.
Now, I think there's some confusion in the community. Clear this up. Explain the multiplayer model.
The core thing that we wanted to do was give you everything you got in Diablo 2 and more without any online fees at all. So when you get the game and it comes out of the box, you'll be able to play online with other people just like you did in Diablo 2 for no monthly fee. A full game all the way through, co-op with your friends. That is the total intent. The subscription model that's been talked about is really a way for us to provide constant, ongoing extra content without doing a giant expansion pack 2 years down the road. And that's really the aim.
So what you're saying is that the expansions for Hellgate London won't be sold in a box, in a store?
No, the idea is that we'll be able to give them to you in a couple of month bumps in between. So 3-4 months, we'll give you extra content. We'll give you more quests, more areas, new classes, whatever we can think of and whatever the community wants.
So what is Phil doing here right now?
He's in Holborn Station right now. Since we pulled up a pre-created character as a Blade Master, this is really your very melee-centric class.
Now, is the Blade Master, I noticed in the trailer there was a character that was doing all kinds of spinning, rotating.
Yeah.
Is this?
This is going to be the class.
All right. So Phil, spin and rotate. Phil, are you clicking on a creature or are you aiming at the creature?
I'm more aiming right now.
It's really not a click and let attacks fire off. You click to activate the skill, and what's within range is hit if you are pointed the right direction, if you're at the right distance. So it's not an auto-assisted melee.
Now, what about if he had some kind of range attack, some rifle? Is he going to need first-person-like, shooter-like skills to be successful at Hellgate London?
There are certain weapons for certain classes that play well with that kind of play style, but that's certainly not required. So that's there for the people who want that, but there's a vast amount of content.
If I like to be a tank and I just like to run in with my sword, can I complete the entire game?
Yes. There's no requirement for you ever to put on a gun.
Now, what if I just want to be a healer and walk around with my friends, do no fighting, just stand behind them casually and heal them?
I think that pretty much all of the classes require a certain amount of combat. We're talking about,
No, we have, in our group, we have a really lazy guy who just likes to heal people.
Well, there's some classes that have support skills for healing for the party. For instance, as a engineer, you can summon drones that will heal your party. So I suppose you could do that.
So Phil, what are you doing right now?
I'm killing a bunch of zombies right now for this quest.
And how, in terms of just the feel of the game, does it feel like Diablo 2?
No, not at all. Usually because with the Diablo 2, you're constantly clicking and pointing and clicking on the... this way you can just rotate around and not have to worry about whether or not you're going to make the hit or not.
So one of the questions that we have is in our podcast crew is whether or not on day one we're going to be subscribers. And so what we want to know what is going to get on day one? Benefit on day one.
Boy, I wish I was a person to ask this question. I'd probably defer you to someone else to answer this one. I'm actually from the Mythos team out north, so I'm always about 2 weeks behind whatever they're doing.
We have some of our guys in the Mythos beta. So let's talk about Mythos for a minute here.
All right.
So explain this to me. This game is a test bed for future technology?
It began as a test bed. Initially, Phil Schenk, who's the art director down at Flagship, and I know each other from years ago. And we were just playing around with kind of some fun projects on the side. And the idea came up to do a test bed project. And the idea was that we would test out the network technology for Hellgate, ahead of Hellgate, Basically, that's why the project was codenamed Tugboat for a while. We were the little ship in front of the flagship. The idea was that we test out the network technology and the load balancing for Hellgate to make sure that when Hellgate launched, be able to do so smoothly. As the game went on and started to develop and become more and more fun, we decided that it could really just be its own thing. So Mythos is now, while it is serving the function of testing out the network technology for Hellgate, we like to think that it's just its own viable project at this point. And we have plans to continue to add masses and masses of content to it.
Will it be a free MMO?
It will be free to play. You will always be able to play the full game for free.
And right now it's still in beta mode, correct?
It's still in private beta, yeah.
Phil, what are you doing right now?
I'm turning in my quests and getting a new quest.
That's very exciting, Phil. So far, Phil, you've been playing this for about the 8 minutes that we've been talking. Can you give me just overall impression?
So far, it's pretty fun. I like the aspect where you're not constantly clicking. It's not so much where you're aiming. It's more, as long as you're in the vicinity, your chance to strike is fairly good.
Oh, and Chad would be upset with me if I didn't ask, can you get our host into the Hellgate beta?
Can I get you a key, you mean?
Yes.
I'm sure you could probably email me and I might be able to rustle something up. Let's see.
All right, we're about to exchange business cards here, guys. All right, well, thank you.
You bet. Thanks for coming by.
And and we can't wait. We're playing Mythos now, and we really I can't.
More is coming.
I can't explain how much we're looking forward to Hellgate London.
Great. Glad to hear it.
All right.
And that was Video Game Show episode number 53 for Sunday, September 2nd, 2007. Any ham sandwiches or share dream pies?
Well, I want to tell everybody, walk over to your Xbox right now, go onto Xbox Live Marketplace, look for the Community Gamer Pick Pack, and download that. It contains gamer picks from GamerCast Network and all of the GamerCast Network podcasts like Uncle Gamer, like the Video Game Show. Check that out. Show us some support, and it's free.
Ham sandwich to you, Robbie, for joining us this evening.
Hey, thank you. Glad I could be back here. I know I was on the show a while back ago, and I was on here with Paris, and I'm sure we argued or something. I don't remember, but it's good to be back. It's good to be back.
And as always, send your comments, questions, queries, or concerns to the mailbag at mailbag@videogameshow.org. Call us at 320-300-GAME. That is a standard long-distance call, and all normal fees apply. Or Skype us at Video Game Show. And I guess it's a wrap. Good night.
Why is Mexican food spicy? It doesn't make any damn sense. I was just thinking that it's like Mexico's hot as hell. Wouldn't the last thing in the world you want is spicy, hot, deep fried food?
Yeah, you'd think they could figure out a way to make all of their food cool.
Yeah, you think there'd be a larger cucumber crop coming out of Mexico, cucumber-based cuisine. That's nice.
Well, Bob, have you ever been to Mexico?
Me? Hell no.
Yes. Well, see, how do you know it's not just a conspiracy of weathermen? What if Mexico really isn't hot?